Hi, Brad Lazarus here with a wedding entertainment tip. This week we're going to cover the question of band and DJ and do you need to book both? So let's get straight into it. So this has come from a question that I've just come off the phone with, a conversation that I've just come off the phone with a client with, and he asked along the lines of, presumably it's quite common for a wedding to have a band and a DJ. What do you normally do? Well, it's not always common. Now, the best way of explaining this is as an example. Let's say you've booked a band for 2 hours, which is quite normal for after dinner. Your dinner finishes at 8, so you want the band to come on around about 8:15. Let's say 8 o'clock, and your wedding finishes at midnight. Well, that leaves you 4 hours. Now, in those 4 hours, the band are going to play 2. Now that leaves you 2 hours left over. Now most weddings with the best intention will run over by 20 minutes to half an hour. So you've now got an hour and a half. Let's say that in between the band break you want to do a cake cutting or a buffet. So that's a minimum of half an hour, 45 minutes. So now all you've got really is between 45 minutes and an hour for a DJ to play. Now a DJ at between £300 and £600, whichever quality of DJ and what he includes, that will be the rough cost. Starts to look like quite an expensive DJ. Now another scenario where you might want to book a DJ is, let's say that your band comes on at round about 7 o'clock, or you're finishing at 1 AM, 2 AM in the morning. Now you've got a lot more time to fill around the band's performance. Now that's when you should really consider having a DJ, because a DJ can, you'll get more value from him. He'll be able to read the room, respond accordingly with the right records at the right moment. Now let's consider the band coming off at midnight and you want your guests to stick around until 1:30 in the morning. You're more likely to engage with those guests with an actual DJ who's putting on records and reading the crowd and responding with the right record than you are with just an iPod playlist. So I would say the rule of thumb is just to consider a DJ when you've got more than about an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of time to fill around the band's performance. Now the next part of the question is, if we don't have a DJ, what are the alternatives? Well, I would say that there's a couple of alternatives here, and they both involve using the band's PA. Now first off, you can provide an iPod with a playlist on it, which the band should be able to manage and play through their PA for you. The other alternative is that you ask the band to provide an iPod playlist and music in between the sets, and either way there should be nothing for you to worry about. Just double check exactly what it is that the band are going to be playing. It's probably along the lines of similar type of style to what they perform as a band, I would imagine, but double check that anyway. Now the next thing is, what happens if you do decide to book a DJ and you've also booked a band? Well, you'll really want the two parties to be cooperating with each other. Otherwise you're going to have a lot of equipment and gear in the room where your wedding party is going to be. So I would just double check that what's normal is for the band to be able to plug in to the front of house speaker system effectively of the DJ, because once the band have finished, the band would need to kind of peel away, if you like, leaving the DJ to carry on. So the DJ provides the bulk of the front of house, and that the front of house meaning is what your guests will hear through the speaker system. Well, I hope those tips have been useful for you, and all the best with your research, and see you next time.